Hi, today I'm very excited to talk about the customer journey to Windows Virtual Desktop and the role that partners are going to play in it. And the simplest way to kind of think about this is that there's two parts to that journey. There's the pre-deployment component of it, which is going to be the planning and the migration, which really focuses on getting those workloads into Windows Virtual Desktop. And then there's going to be the post-deployment component of it, which is around learning, which is around automation, which is around optimization. And ultimately, this bit is going to be the bit that creates an effective managed services for our partners. Now, when you start thinking about those two different aspects of that customer journey, no two customer journeys are ever the same, and we know that. But what we can do is we can hit that 80%. So let's focus on the pre-deployment to start. When we start thinking about planning, what we really need to understand is what is already out there in the environment today. Which applications are being used? Which operating systems work well? What's the performance of those applications? And ultimately, we need to start consuming all of this data so we can start planning for a baseline of which workloads need to be moved, which are existing, which need to be manipulated so that they can be optimized a bit, and which ones can just be retired. And once we've gone through this planning phase through data acquisition, that's where we get into the migrate itself, where we actually start the execution on the customer journey. And from an application-centric perspective, which is how I see everything, it's really around testing the applications to see if they're suitable for a variety of different things, whether they're suitable for multi-session, whether they're suitable for Windows 10 build that you're going to be running in WVD, or whether they're suitable for a performance perspective to actually run in WVD. And it's only from there, when we start understanding what that application experience looks like, that we can start truly creating an application delivery plan. And this is all being done pre-deployment. Now, once we've actually taken those workloads and modernized them and figured out which ones are good candidates to move over, that's where things get really interesting. And that's where we move from that one-time revenue into something that's much more of an effective managed service. And that's where we start learning and collecting more data with partners like Lakeside, where we can understand the new operating environment and really build and collect data around how we can create a better suggested baseline. If we reimagine applications to be outcome delivery based as opposed to traditional application delivery based, meaning that I don't need a full application just to approve a time off request. If I start thinking about applications in terms of processes, I can start getting very creative on maximizing my compute and user experience by learning, but with a combination of the application behavior knowledge that we have and some process mining, where we can get to the point that we're going to start suggesting automations for our users. And what I mean by that is we're going to start looking at the automation aspect where we can do self-writing and self-learning tests about that application by leveraging AI and classified learning principles to say, you know what? We know that this user goes through these 12 clicks every single time that they use this application. Perhaps we can package it up or create an automation where it's going to come out in a slightly different way that's more geared towards the user as opposed to the way that the ISV created the application for the entire world to use. And ultimately, with this data acquisition and this AI around the self-writing automations, we're going to focus on truly creating predictive and suggestive optimizations for that user. So we can actually start optimizing cost. You don't have to package the whole application. You don't have to have the full stack of compute. These 7 applications play really well together. And ultimately take that type of data and make suggestions around how to deploy the right application, the right process, the right package, in the right format to the right user with the right compute, ultimately achieving an effective managed service in intelligent application delivery. So if you'd like to learn more about where we are today and our vision of where we're going to the future, please come to the website, remote3.com, and ask for a demo. We'd be happy to give you one.